Let me guess, you've been working hard, pushing through, doing everything right, and yet it still feels like you're getting nowhere. You're tired, you're questioning everything, and secretly you're wondering, is it time to quit? Before you do, listen to this. There's a moment in every journey, quiet, lonely, and invisible to the outside world, when you wonder if all of this is even worth it. You don't post about it, you don't talk about it, but it sits with you. You question the effort, the time, the constant rejections. You ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who even cares? Maybe you're building something no one understands yet. A small business, a new career, a better version of yourself. And despite how hard you're trying, the results are slow. People around you seem to move faster, succeed more easily, and you begin to feel like you're falling behind. That's the moment many people quit. But what if that feeling isn't a signal to stop, but a sign you're closer than you think? Let me tell you something most people won't. The hardest moment always comes right before the breakthrough. The reason? Growth isn't linear. It looks like failure, like stagnation. And the deeper you're pushing into the unknown, the louder your doubts will scream. This is the moment where dreams either fade or sharpen. It's not your talent that will carry you through it. It's not luck. It's not even confidence. It's your ability to keep showing up. Because consistency, especially when you don't see results, is a kind of quiet rebellion. It's saying, I believe in something bigger, even if the world doesn't see it yet. So if you're here on the edge, wondering if it's time to give up, I want to invite you to pause, not to push harder, not to pretend you're okay, but to realize that this low point, this invisible battle, is part of every great story. And it's happening because you're doing something real. This isn't the end, it's the test. And how you respond will determine everything that comes next. We've been sold a lie, from school, from movies, from every motivational reel on social media. We've been told that success is a straight line. You work hard, stay focused, and boom, you make it. You win. You're finally there. But in real life, that's not how it works. In real life, progress is messy. It's stop and go. It's full of detours, plateaus, and days where nothing makes sense. You put in the hours and still feel stuck. And when that happens, you don't just feel tired. You start to feel broken. You begin to think something's wrong with you, like everyone else got the manual for success, and somehow you didn't. But the truth is this: stuck doesn't mean broken. It means you're in it, in the work, in the resistance that makes growth real. Because here's what no one tells you: the path doesn't get easier, you get stronger. You start to see that slow days still count, that the grind, the silence, the long nights, they're building something even if you can't see it yet. And most importantly, you realize that just because it's hard doesn't mean it's wrong. We've been conditioned to chase fast results, instant validation, but the things that matter most, deep work, real impact, personal growth, they don't show up overnight. They show up after you've stayed when it got hard. They show up after you didn't quit. They show up after you kept going when no one was watching. So if you're in that messy middle, if the line isn't straight, if the progress feels invisible, you're not lost. You're just walking a real path. And that's the only kind that leads to something worth having. Let's talk about the days no one posts about. The days when you stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m. asking yourself, is this even worth it? When your chest is tight with pressure, your mind is loud with doubt, and every part of you wants to just stop. These are the moments that separate those who dream from those who build. Not because builders are stronger, but because they've learned how to sit with doubt and keep going anyway. See, doubt isn't a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're growing, that you're doing something real enough to scare you. Because when you're chasing something that actually matters, you will face fear. Fear of wasting time, fear of being misunderstood, fear that you'll give it everything and still come up short. But here's what most people don't realize. Doubt and progress can exist at the same time. You can feel unsure and still be moving forward. You can feel lost and still be learning. You can feel small and still be making something big. The key isn't to eliminate doubt. That's impossible. The key is to move anyway. Sometimes that looks like sending one more email or editing one more video or simply choosing not to give up today, even if you're not sure what tomorrow looks like. And if today is one of those days, if you feel invisible, if your wins feel too small, if you're surrounded by people who don't get it, let me say this clearly. You are not alone. You are not behind. And you are not crazy for wanting more, even when it feels impossible. You're just human, and you're doing something most people never even try. Keep going. We're not done yet. Let's be honest. We live in a world that's addicted to speed, fast wins, overnight success. Go viral, get rich, quit your job, post the reel, build the brand. But here's the truth. No algorithm will tell you. Anything meaningful takes time. Think about a tree. It doesn't shoot up in a day. It spends years growing roots you'll never see while everyone walks past thinking nothing is happening. Then one day, it breaks through the surface. But that overnight growth, it was years in the making. That's what your journey is too. Right now, maybe you're in the root stage. You're learning, struggling, showing up, and no one's clapping. Your friends don't get it. Your parents want you to be realistic. You scroll past people who seem miles ahead. And it's tempting to think, maybe I'm just not meant for this. But I want to challenge that thought. Right here, right now. Because what if it's not that you're not meant for it? What if you're just early? Every dream has a season, and every season asks you to plant, water, and wait without proof. This is where most people quit. Not because they aren't talented, not because they don't want it enough, but because they were told that if it's meant to be, it would feel easier by now. That's a lie. The ones who make it, they learn to stay long after the applause goes silent. They learn to work when no one's watching and rest when the pressure screams more. They stop obsessing over when it'll happen, and they start focusing on who they're becoming in the process. That's the long game. That's the quiet work. That's the kind of success that doesn't just change your life, it transforms you from the inside out. So if you're moving slow, if no one's clapping yet, if you've been planting seeds for what feels like forever, you're not lost. You're in the right place, and your roots are growing deeper than you know. Let me ask you something personal. What if success isn't something you chase? What if it's something you choose? We grow up with this scoreboard in our heads: money, status, fame, metrics, more, faster, bigger. But after everything, the burnout, the self-doubt, the lonely late nights, you start to wonder, what's it all really for? See, real success doesn't scream. It's quiet. It's in the mornings where you wake up proud of the person in the mirror. It's in the courage to keep going, even when no one's clapping. It's in doing the right thing when the shortcut looks tempting. You're successful the moment you decide to live on your own terms, not when your parents finally understand, not when you get a blue check, not when your old classmates see your wins online and feel a little jealous. That's noise. Success is becoming the person you used to need, the one who doesn't just talk about dreams, but walks through every storm to make them real. And if you're listening to this right now, still showing up, still trying, even when it's hard, you've already made it further than most. Because most people quit not from failure, but from fear. Fear of judgment, fear of slowness, fear that they're the only ones struggling. But you didn't quit. You kept walking. Maybe you're not at the mountaintop yet, but you've built something more important: resilience. And that's a win the world can't take away from you. So today, instead of asking, when will I make it? Ask this instead: what kind of person am I becoming through this? Am I proud of the effort, even if no one sees it yet? Because the truth is, success is not the final destination. It's every brave, messy, imperfect step you take along the way. And you, my friend, are right in the middle of it. So breathe, keep going. You're not behind, you're just getting stronger. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need the reminder too. And don't forget, your story isn't over, it's just getting good.